All right, we just finished watching a chibi review video about manga and anime. We gotta save the manga, okay? We cannot let these guys destroy the great mangas that used to exist. And shout out to you if you're going from that video to this video. Hey, welcome in. It's your boy KhunShawn. For everybody else that's new, we're gonna be checking out Mother's Basement, Why I Love Konosuba. I've never seen this anime, so let's see why Mother's Basement likes it. And he likes ReZero, so he must have some good taste. So let's go ahead and check out this video and let's get started.
Season, it feels like old friends coming to visit. Specifically, the kind of old friends your wife and
the
lawyer
PlayStation
beg
shirt
you to
W.
stop seeing because you're one strike away from hard time, which also explains why you only see them every couple years, come to think of it. Of
what
course,
the hell?
In real life, it's not legal trouble or prison keeping Kazuma and the gang away.
What is going on in this anime? Just tell me, bro. Just tell me.
Tribulations of the anime industry, where most attempts at isekai and comedy adaptations never get a second season at all. And in that light, it's pretty damn impressive how these lovable idiots have kept coming back and thriving over the last near decade. Spin-offs, video games, 3 seasons, and a
decade,
movie. Success
yeah.
far less dubious anime heroes could never dream
What was
of.
that?
So,
damn, she turned him to dust? What the heck was that bean?
what is it that keeps us coming back to Konosuba? What makes so many of us love this stupid anime so damn much?
Let me hear about it.
I'm here to figure out with a little help from today's sponsor, you. Specifically,
me.
Those of you who support the channel via memberships or on Patreon, or also just by using a promo code BASEMENT to buy some gamer subs or books from book.
I don't drink that stuff or read that stuff, but let's get going because this ad's old.
This anime's allure is without question its bouncy, expressive, fluid
animation,
which puts it right
okay, that looks nice. That really does look nice. Okay, cool. Like, we have originality with the animation. Cool.
Animation, which puts it right up there with Nichijou, Gumball, Smiling Friends, and Golden Age
Smiling
Looney
Friends
Tunes at the absolute
Looney Tunes
peak of pure visual.
Oh wow, that does look good.
Not purely visual. The voice actors obviously deserve just as much credit as the animators.
How good is it? Let me hear it.
Truly great cartoon.
Let me hear it. This is gonna be one of those shows. All right, hold on. Let me sit up for this one. Let me okay. Let's see. I've got your parents' approval. Oh, W. Deaf to perverts. I've seen that before.
And you know what?
Freeze frame.
So do sound directors. Animation's most unsung heroes. Obviously, all this slapstick Sakuga speaks
God,
for
that
itself.
goblin
And
freaky as
speaking of
hell,
speaking,
boy.
Any fan who's even a little up on their behind-the-scenes knowledge,
bro, this is how I know this is a good show, right? They put so much detail in the back. Bro, why he looking like that, bro? I ain't even see. I was too busy looking at this freaky ass goblin cutting his tongue off, bro. What is he on? Got that good stuff.
And speaking of speaking, any fan who's
Speaking of
even
speaking?
a little up on their behind-the-scenes knowledge will credit Jun Fukushima for ad-libbing Kazuma's funniest running gag. But few appreciate how that slapstick would fall on its face in a different, far less funny way if it weren't for the sound design of Yoshikazu Iwanami, not to mention the music of Masato Koda, two of the production pillars who've been holding
Goblin
Konosuba
Slayer?
up since day one. And they're not the only ones. Animation producer Nobumitsu Urasaki, general producer Rie Ogura, character designer Koichi Kikuta.
Hey man, shout out to you if you know who these people are, because I'm over here like, hey, these names sound very cool. I just don't know who they are.
Writer Makoto Uezu and director Takaomi Kanasaki, who also storyboards most episodes, have also
I love these
been
animation.
with the series from the very
What the heck?
beginning. And is the real secret behind Konosuba's
Bro, what is this?
impressive and hilarious
Oh, shit.
production values.
Damn.
Many anime fans mistakenly attribute nice animation to high budgets, but budgets are generally
That's
the
not the
same
case.
across.
That is not the case. There's some anime that don't have an amazing budget. They still have nice anime. Also, my Wi-Fi is messing up again. as you guys can see. This keeps happening. I'm running. I think it's a data thing. All right, we're back, and it's in 244p.
Budgets, but budgets are generally the same across the industry and lower than you'd probably imagine. Good planning is what really
low budget, that means low quality for the video. Shout out to
YouTube
in my data.
From the anime crop. And because they've worked so closely
with
the
that
same
look
producers
good.
for so long, Konosuba and Uezu are able to tailor their storyboards and
what
scripts
the hell?
to
Oh
suit
damn,
the
what happened to the frog?
and needs of the animators and staff, spacing out the money shots with simpler, more limited gags to give the animators time to avoid the quality decay that plagues so many mid-tier anime in the mid-season. For instance, sandwiched between the huge battles and high-energy gags of Season 3, we find Episode 7, which opens with
Chilling
an
at the house
off-screen audio gag of Kazuma and Aqua being obnoxious in a restaurant for like half a minute, followed by some impeccably timed awkward pauses.
Freeze frames.
特売の酢を使ってます。
You can stop jiggling your mouse. YouTube's not buffering.
Oh, okay. I ain't gonna lie, dog, bro. Look, he got me because I'm like, oh, bro, don't tell me my thing messed up again, bro.
Just how long they hold on this shot.
That's crazy. Why?
Elevator scene.
Why, bro?
Right here. And
why?
I mean that as the highest compliment. Smart time-saving techniques like this were how Gainax got good enough at Gainaxing to have a whole style of boob animation named after them in the first place. Another tradition that Konosuba
Uncensored on Patreon. Got it.
carries on. It's not common in the industry for a show's core staff to stay this consistent for this long, especially not when the show jumps studios. Typically, at least some of these high-level roles get
Red Eyes Black
around
Dragon
between seasons due to scheduling conflicts and the like, and you need only look at the Megumin spin-off anime to see how
there's a spin-off
really
anime?
matters. Only half of the core team was available to work on it, and while it is still very funny, it's clearly missing some of Konosuba's spark. Though as you'd expect from the star, it does still have the showier kinds of combustion down.
Explosion! Damn! Shit! Can she spam that?
A well-planned
Sauron! Palantir!
Very much if the source material. Of course, a well-planned.
Hey man, make sure y'all keep y'all VPNs on.
Planned adaptation wouldn't be worth very much if the source material itself weren't worth adapting in the first place. And Natsume Akatsuki's sharp, witty writing.
Yo, was she
what
dancing
really
during the attack?
Konosuba's charm. The series'
Damn.
basic premise is a blatant send-up of the most popular isekai tropes around the time it was written. Instead of getting hit by truck-kun, for instance, this hero's sleep-deprived gamer brain merely mistakes a tractor for him and instantly sends itself into fatal shock. So goddess of reincarnation, who's kind of an asshole, starts mocking him relentlessly.
He peed on himself.
That, which prompts him to pick her as his obligatory cheat item out of spite, and now they're stuck together as they start their lives as adventurers, which are basically just glorified temp workers until they earn enough cash to buy a sword. Because this ain't one of them kami isekais where they just hand you 500 gold in the backpack for showing up with black hair and a funny name. That's why those cheat items Kazuma spitefully ignored were so important, but Aqua does resurrect him slightly more often than she gets him killed.
Bro, that's such a beautiful pattern. Wow.
So probably he could have picked worse, maybe. And most importantly, thanks to her, he's never lonely. Yes, the real treasure here is all the gold that Kazuma buys his big house with. But the friends he makes along the way and shares it with come a close second. And as we get to know folks around the starting town, and especially the two other horrible crazy ladies who won't stop following him, the show's comedy elevates itself from the rote genre parody that so many of these things make so
Bro, that pattern looks dope too.
Unfunny
Wow.
into something that simply works no matter how many isekai you've seen.
Bro,
It's
through the
easy to
lockpick.
forget how crowded the genre's gotten, but when Konosuba came out in 2016, the gold
2016?
rush had barely started,
Wow.
and barely any of the Naro-style reincarnation isekai it was spoofing had actually been adapted to
Bro,
anime
can I go out the
yet.
door?
Light novels certainly weren't getting localized back then either, so Konosuba served as many a weeb's introduction to the very tropes it was spoofing. And yet
see.
that didn't stop us from laughing our asses off.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
an
if it's funny, it's
immediately
funny.
massive hit with the English anime fandom, directly spurring that gold rush on to even greater levels of fervor, which is a real testament to just how strong its writing and characters are. But the greater testament is how almost a decade into that isekai gold rush, with so many half-assed parodies biting their shtick every year, Konosuba's ensemble can come back from a 5-year hiatus
Oh, shit.
and immediately have us rolling like they never left. And
Have they done that? They left for 5 years and came back? Yeah, that's
what's
cool.
more, managed to deliver the most triumphant, emotionally satisfying story this anime has told to date. Which
So
is,
beautiful.
I think, one of the biggest keys to this series' staying power. In a similar vein to Discworld, despite being a parody, Konosuba manages to build a more convincingly lived-in setting than most fantasy ever manage, and way more original to boot, populated with fascinating characters. From the ruffians at the Adventurers Guild to haughty nobles and impetuous...
You know, I kind of like how, right, because of the budgeting, they really do look just like low, I'd like low poly is the idea, right? It's like they don't put as much detail, but they put enough, right? Like this character is completely different from this character, right? They're different enough. You know, of course this one got armor, this one got armor, sure. But it's like this dude looks completely different, but it's super smooth. There's not a lot of detail in the clothing and the hair, but in other animes they would have like kitted out all the gear for the background characters. But yet they still put enough effort to make them look different. That's really cool.
Characters, from the ruffians at the Adventurers Guild to
Look at his
haughty
haircut.
nobles and impetuous royalty to the surprisingly good-natured demons around town to,
Good-natured
of course,
demons.
everyone's favorite gang of idiots. And great characters are the foundation of great storytelling, so that naturally leads to better, more memorable arcs than most of its more serious isekai and fantasy light novel competitors. By the
Seems
same
fun.
token, Koichi Kikuta's comedically simplified character designs built for fluid...
Bro, what?
And Koichi Kikuta's
Dude, they put like so many different faces in here. Bro,
simplified
dude, look at bro, this anime is pretty goated, man. This is one of those animes where they put a lot of love in it. They put a lot of love. They didn't have a big budget, they didn't have a lot of money, but they put a lot of love in it. I like that. That's really cool.
character designs built for fluid, high-energy motion also naturally lend themselves to better animated action
That was so
scenes than
badass.
a lot of action-focused anime, many of which employ restrictive, over-detailed designs that emphasize looking cool over moving cool. And that's not the only advantage.
See, and that's a good rebuttal to what I said earlier. That's a good like alignment match, because the ones that put a lot of detail, there's the no detail in the movement. Right. That's really cool, man. I like that. So they were like, we can't make it look like detailed, but we can make it look fun. And I think that's really cool.
That Konosuba's fights have over your average serious power fantasy.
Damn, we shot him in the
Most
eye?
anime that try to emulate RPGs don't even rise to the level
it's
of a
badass.
bog-standard Dragon Quest clone. That is a strategically varied series of back-and-forth combat encounters punctuated by plot dumps and the occasional puff-puff. With Kirito's stats and skills at endgame levels from the outset, most isekai strategy boils down to hit it with the sword, then the biggest spell you got if that doesn't work, and with the
Then power of teamwork.
Spending all their energy punching that garbage up, the best you'll see outside of fights is a plorf. By refusing to take its characters or action all that seriously, though, Konosuba ironically fares much better in that department. No, Union,
it
not
looks
the
so
puff
good.
puff department.
What is the puff puff?
Those are quite
boobs.
nice, though. What I mean is, it comes much closer to the
I ain't gonna lie, I thought he was talking about smoking.
improvisational feel of real tabletop roleplay. Megumin has an undeniably OP endgame attack, but she can only use it outside once per day and refuses to learn anything else. Aqua has the
ain't no way, bro. She literally mastered. She didn't even master it, bro. She literally has thunderclap and flash, and that's it. You do it one time a day, bro.
once per day and refuses to learn anything else.
Okay,
Aqua has
cool.
the busted stats of a Kirito, but sinks all her skill points into party tricks for attention instead of anything useful. Darkness is too
oh my god,
easily
this is hilarious.
To hit anything with her sword, and Kazuma's dog water class means he can learn lots of abilities, but his stat line is also
ass.
Only the luck-based ones are particularly useful.
Hey, luck-based ones, those come in handy at the right possible moment.
Their own. Overwhelming the enemy with sheer force is basically never an option for these goofballs. Especially not after Megumin shoots her shot for the day and becomes a doormat. So in basically
a doormat
every
is
encounter,
crazy.
They're forced to think on their feet, combine their powers creatively, and fight dirty. No, darkness, not that kind of dirty. Still nice, though. I'm talking about stuff like creating water and then freezing it to make an improvised oil slick.
Genius.
Using the impersonations.
Or you could have just said ice.
Skills that come bundled with Aqua's seemingly useless multi-threat entertainer buff to misdirect enemy mobs.
Entertainer
or
buff?
the enemy's sword before they even have a chance
Damn.
to strike. Or
yo, the animation, bro.
The enemy's sword before they even...
Bro, look at this. Look at this, bro. They put so much detail in the faces. Bang, 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 bang. Oh man, I love this show.
Underwear, as the case may be. Come to think of it, most of those are pretty cowardly, but hey, so is Kazuma. That's one of the benefits of having a protag who doesn't have to be the coolest guy in the room at every possible moment, or ever. The underwear in particular is a great example of characterization through action, too.
Let's go,
because
freaky
Kazuma's
boy.
luck stat is so high, it makes the normally randomized steal skill effectively an at-will guaranteed hit every time. But he's such a worthless pervert that he can only steal panties, never anything valuable or useful, because he values those the most, unless he's fighting a dude, of course. Of course,
the helmet
also makes Kazuma a prime example of what's typically one of the most aggravating archetypes in anime,
Sensei.
drooling lecher. But a few key facts make his version types in anime that...
No, I'm not familiar with this. This is an OG anime. Shout out to whatever this is. What's this name? Hey, who is the first person that can name this anime without cheating? I know some of y'all looking it up with Claude.
Ruling lecher, but a few key facts make his version of the bit substantially funnier than, say, Mineta or Meliodas, at least in my book. First,
whoa, hold on. What was he doing?
Mineta or Meliodas.
Bro, I ain't even see that. I was looking at the head.
In my book. Firstly, Kazuma has layers and depth to his character beyond just being a horny piece of shit. He's also a greedy, lazy, irritable, cowardly piece of shit, not to mention unaccountably vain, which leads him to try and almost always fail to hide his copious flaws instead of flaunting them, which means that, you don't see him act like Mineta too often, except around the rest of his party, of course,
that are used to him being
the
weird.
Worst girls are just as bad as he is, if not worse. Zis the One too made a great point in the comments of that old video.
I noticed that all the girls all click with Kazuma since they each share one of his negative traits. Aqua is selfish and entitled. Megumin is short-tempered. Darkness is a perverted.
Actually,
got
part
it.
of the reason girls click so well,
hey, they're trauma bonding.
Kazuma is each of them shares, and I'd argue amplifies, some of his negative traits. Darkness is a way bigger perv than he is, by a wide margin, for example, to the point it makes even him a little uncomfortable sometimes.
Been there. Don't yell my name in this context is crazy. Bro, the way she delivered that was amazing too. Like, that sounded legit, bro. They need to be a voice tag or something, bro. I gotta hear that again. Bro, this show is goated. Don't yell my name.
They're both freaks who could
Freak
very easily get their freak on together if they really wanted, and almost do a few times, but neither of them is actually
too shy?
ready for that, despite how vocally they want it. Not emotionally, certainly not in terms of body fluid supply, not to mention the potential fallout the ensuing relationship could cause within their party. Remember Chilchuck's rules for adventuring, kids. The hilarious parrot
I don't know what that one means, but yeah, man, don't shit where you eat.
paradox of the masochistic paladin is that deep down, even if she's not pure by any stretch, she is as pure-hearted
She's a paladin.
she pretends to be. She's a naive idealist who cares about her friends and the people in her noble charge immensely and would sacrifice anything, go through any pain for their sake. Everything she does through season 3 proves that beautifully. Does the fact that she'd also get off on that pain really cheapen that sacrifice all that much?
No, that means good for her, cause like she's taking her buff of being herself and making that her job. So, W women.
Definitely yes. At any rate, it's for the best that Kazuma's too skittish to finger that trigger, because he and Megumin are a much better match. As far as friends go, they're
shipping.
immensely childish, prone to tantrums, and all around selfish, but that goes hand in hand with their shared best quality, that they're both shamelessly passionate nerds.
I can see.
Mostly for games and anime, which he can't really get his hands on anymore, while the chief object of Megumin's nerdery is, of course, the overwhelming beauty, godly.
Bro, that shit is OP. She has one skill, and it's this fucking busted, and she can only use it once a day.
Object of Megumin.
I get it. I get it.
Of course, the overwhelming beauty,
like that's badass.
Destructive might,
one spell.
Sublime magical elegance of.
Bro, she has one move. Oh my god, bro. It blows shit up, bro. Bro, she's literally flexing, bro. She's like, look, hey, it's been 24 hours. Are you ready for that explosion? And then blows their ass up, bro.
Once a day, Megumin is
damn.
Kazuma gets that more than he gets maybe anything about any other
person. That cloud is crazy.
See him volunteer to do in this wonderful world that doesn't benefit him in any way is
lottery.
Carry Megumin back from explosion practice, and he clearly has a blast doing it. Pun very much intended. Just a few weeks in, he starts to really appreciate the intricacies of her obsession, the difference between a great explosion and a merely okay one. He takes an interest in her interests, which is the basis for all great nerd love stories.
No. If you take interest in someone else's interest, that is the signs of a romance. Congratulations. You see what I'm saying? You see, it writes itself. It's like poetry. It rhymes. George Lucas.
They're not really ready for a relationship either, though.
What the hell?
At this point, Megumin, Kazuma, and Darkness
Bro, that face was crazy.
Just using each other as emotional crutches. And, you know, frankly, it'd just be inappropriate for them to get up to anything with a whiny little baby in the house. Aqua shares Kazuma's laziness and especially his vanity, which she needs the rest of the party to constantly validate.
Notice me.
Pretty much no one else really likes her, not even her own cult.
She has a cult? Defeat the Demon King. Those aren't fans.
She's a day-drinking alcoholic with a taste for the expensive stuff. Or,
bro, I once met a dude and he was drinking and it was noon. And I asked him, I was like, you drinking already? And he said, I didn't start soon enough. I'm like, okay. Hey, man, do your thing, man.
Actually, even that's giving her too much credit. She canonically can't distinguish between good and cheap booze. She just prefers to drink, quote, expensive bubbly because
expensive bubbly.
Literally the worst.
Bruh.
And when
Nah,
she's
I think
hammered,
she is the worst.
she's an easy mark for door-to-door scams. If
Eggs.
Kazuma's insane lifestyle wasn't constantly leading the gang into improbably lucrative get-rich-quick schemes, she'd have long ago drunken them out of luckily acquired mansion and
absolutely.
home. Though, to her credit,
absolutely, man. He'll get all that money and she will happily spend it, bro. Hey, get that prenup.
She did also get them that mansion in the first place.
Oh, she got her own money.
Simple graveyard clearing gig and accidentally haunting up the entire rich neighborhood in which it's situated, leading the NIMBY landlord to
sell it or give it away
live there as hush money in order to not drive housing prices down. And you know
damn.
What? She does clearly belong in that sort of fancy community, not because she's particularly classy or dignified or whatever, but because she's such an open racist.
She'll fit in. This thing. He said you look silly.
Despite the fact that
hey, I ain't gonna lie, she speaking facts, bro. He exists because of negative human emotions. Hey, get him.
Time and again, demons and undead have been shown to be some of the nicest and most productive members of Konosuba's entire society. Like, Aqua herself has objectively caused more problems for this wonderful world just by losing track of all the cheat items she handed to dead Japanese kids before she even got here, not to mention all the f***ups since then. It's not just Wiz and Vina being upstanding citizens with their little item shop either. Beldia the Dullahan put up
no, they have their own shop? Okay, they cool with me. Hey, look, it's one thing to be a demon, it's another thing to be a demon with your own store. Hey, shout out to damn, what's his name from Bayonetta? Y'all know who I'm talking about? Dude with the bar? Shout out to him.
Upstanding citizens.
Hey, hit the comments if you know what his name is without cheating. I know some of y'all cheating on here.
With their little item shop either. Beldia the Dullahan put up with Megumin exploding his house every day for months before he even came to complain about it, let alone attack the city of Axel. And even then, he would have let it go at any point if she just apologized. Plus, prior to that, him being there reduced the rate of local monster attacks, which was only a problem for the adventuring economy of the city.
The adventuring economy.
People. He was such a nice guy who simply did not deserve that kind of abuse or Darkness's frankly outrageous sexual harassment. And
that's crazy.
Other Demon King generals do engage in more overt.
Oh, okay, I know who this is. Like, I was like, I've seen this character before. This is from what's his name? Super Xavier. He be having them on there as a booty warrior.
Villainy. The Crimson Demons are kind of jerks, and
Crimson
Hans was
Demon?
only trying to disrupt the activities of the aforementioned Axis cult, which is awful on a level that makes happy science look reasonable.
Autograph. It's a death contract, ain't it? It's a job application. It's a job application. Oh, ninja.
And the reason they're so awful is explicitly because they worship and follow the very poorly thought out teachings of Aqua, who I'm just realizing now I've yet to list a single redeeming quality for, so...
Yeah, where is it?
Let's see. Sometimes she uses her incredible
to think about it
to save people's lives.
Cool.
Usually with the worst possible dramatic timing.
Oh. What in the... Bro, what the heck was that?
She's also an incessant people pleaser, like many
This show is crazy.
narcissists. But you know, when company's over, she's always willing to brew up a fresh pot of tea.
Oh.
Even though her goddess powers instantly purify the tea out of the tea, so she's
Water? Hot water?
constantly serving their guests
Nice.
cups of hot water.
Hey.
Kind of just the worst.
That's good.
Huh?
That's good for
Like,
you.
Aside from that one fat old pervert, Aqua's low-key more of a villain than most of Konosuba's villains.
Well,
Not
damn.
on purpose, mostly. Never mistake for malice what can be chalked up to stupidity. But
Yeah,
she's
for sure.
definitely one of the friends like these that makes you think, who needs enemies?
Facts.
Which brings me to the main thing that makes Kazuma's lucky pervert bit, and most of the other horrible things about these characters, not just tolerable, but outright entertaining. The personal failings of the party, perviness included, are by and large what drive Konosuba's plot forward. The Devil King's army just isn't that much of a problem for everyday people. So with few exceptions, every episode and arc of the series so far can be boiled down to, well,
Oh, you about to get jumped, my
if it
guy.
isn't the consequences of my own
Oh,
actions.
damn.
Even the ones where they fight the Demon King's generals. If it's not Kazuma's perverse habits almost getting him, plus an innocent succubus sex worker, killed by his
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
racist roommate, it's a get-rich-quick scheme gone horribly wrong. Or worse, horribly right. It's as if the gang is constantly in search of new petards by which to be hoist. Konosuba's comedic
Wow, what
dynamic
a
is often
what a dialect.
likened by fans to It's Always Sunny in Another World, and that's not
I love
a bad
it.
comparison
This is
at
great.
all, but
This
I
is
don't know if
great.
it fully captures the series' distinctive charms, especially the fact that its status quo actually evolves over time. Bringing it back to the tabletop RPG analogy, I like to look at Konosuba as a D&D campaign where the players absolutely are not taking it seriously, and the DM absolutely is, but doesn't believe in railroading. There is an overarching story to play out, a rich, creatively built world full of cool characters to discover, but everyone's kind of too focused on goofing off, cracking jokes, and just kind of doing stuff for the sake of their own characters to find any of that. So instead of forcing things, the DM lets them have their fun and slowly, surreptitiously inserts plot points and lore bits from the story he wanted to tell into the consequences of their constant f***uppery. This is, in my humble opinion, the
That's
most
one way.
fun way to play a tabletop game because it allows everyone at the table to contribute their own distinct voice to the story without losing sight of that story's point. At the end of the day, the reason we play tabletop RPGs instead of just, I don't know, going bowling or whatever, is because we goof off with our friends and feel like we really accomplished something together that we couldn't have done on our own. Something we can tell stories about later. It's the same adventurous impulse, really, that drives those friends you don't see very often, just channeled into a less risky medium than doing
I'll say this, man. From what I've seen,
you don't see very often.
This show got some really nice patterns. Like these, bro, this is crazy. Isn't this is like a, bro, it literally is like it's part pentagram, part like actual star from like Mario Party. Have you guys played Mario Party? Bro, that's literally the star right there from Mario Party, bro. That's crazy.
Channeled into a less
and a shine
medium
sprite
than doing actual crimes. And the reason we watch anime is because the older you get, the busier your friends get, and sometimes even when you can get together, everyone's just
not the
real
same.
tired. So it's nice having a fantasy anime that channels that same impulse and finds that perfect balance between goofing off and getting shit done that makes a great tabletop campaign great. Not the only anime that does it, mind you.
Good times.
Really need to watch more of the Slayers. But as modern shows go, Konosuba is unmatched. And I really hope we don't have to wait too long before the gang comes back around to cause more problems. While we wait, though, if you're feeling Konosuba deficient, I did just put out a definitive list of the greatest isekai anime of all time, which should keep you busy
of all
for
time.
a long while. I'm Jeff Thu, foremost anime reviewer in the Crimson Demon Tribe. And now I must go, lest the powers within me of darkness and evil and stuff burst forth.
Okay, bro. Darkness, evil, and stuff for sure. I'm not gonna lie, gang. You know, it's an interesting premise, right? But this is one of those animes that aren't for me. I like it. I like the characters. I like the design. I like the animation. It's fun. It's cute. I'm not gonna lie, but like the last 20 seconds, I was thinking I kind of want to watch something more like Rurouni Kenshin. You know, kind of want to see something more on that other side of anime, personally. But you know, I could get this. This is you know, it's cute. You know, it's funny. It's yeah. I don't know. I think out of all the genres of anime, I don't know. I think isekai is maybe in like maybe like top 20. Like for me, it's not really like top 5, top 10. So it's cool to see it, but I definitely want to see a video that's something like more on that other, like not the edge, like Eminence of Shadow I think was badass and it was funny because it was so edgy, but it was also like edgy, you know what I'm saying? Like I need something. Can I get something like down the middle? Can I get something between Eminence and Shadow and this show and like a little bit of ReZero in there? Like can I get something like that? Because I'd love to see it, especially if it's new, like something that came out in like the last 3 years or so. But I don't know. I haven't seen anime, so I'm glad you guys are like showing me this stuff. But yeah, this one ain't up my alley. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, man. Shout out to the Discord. Appreciate you guys sending it in. It was something fun to watch, and I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. So until next time, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Thanks for watching, and have a great night. Peace.